I thought since, Saratoga's coming up, it'd be kind of fun to try and look ahead and say your top 3-year-old males as we get into Saratoga, because you mentioned here you like this horse that debuted and is probably going to go straight from the Curlin straight from this debut race rather into the Curlin and then possibly the Travers. So your top 3-year-old males, please.
Yeah, let's start at number 5. You just want to pull up the replay? Because I'm putting St. Tapit at number 5. Havre de Grace was a phenomenal horse. They've actually bred Tapit to Havre de Grace before. We've never seen a horse this precocious early from those two. And then the professionalism for this effort, absolutely phenomenal. I've got St. Tapit as the 5th. And this is interesting. Magic gave me this assignment and set no parameters. So I think legitimately St. Tapit could be the 5th most talented horse we have seen right now in this 3-year-old crop. I would expect that this horse can take monster step forward next out and third off the layoff. I'm excited to see what St. Tapit can do as a 4-year-old.
Yeah, like you said, Mike, the horse based off of the way that he ran and with the breeding, just getting started at this 6.5 furlong distance, wait till you get to see St. Tapit going 2 turns. Could be a real thing of beauty. Where do you want to go with number 4?
I'm going to stay in New York, man. I'm actually going to stay in the Chad. Well, no, I'm going to switch to the Chad Brown barn. I'm going to go with early voting number 4. Look, I got to give a lot of credence to what happened in the Triple Crown in the run up to it. The Wood Memorial turned out to be a very, very good race for the first time in a while, but a very, very good race. Early voting was run down by Mo Donegal in that race, but set a nice pace, and it was able to win the Preakness off that race. So I think early voting right now would be number 4 on my list. And honestly, I'm going to leave both Messier and Table off. They are both honorable mentions to me because I have no clue what to expect until I know what barn they're going to be in. And the Haskell is just such a head scratcher because what do you expect from Table? I have no clue. But from a talent perspective, both of them are very, very, very talented. I just don't know what to expect because of the barn issue.
Exactly. And as far as Taba Messier goes, the Racing Dudes team has kind of taken the unofficial pattern. We're just going to wait until Bob Baffert gets his hands back on these horses. Then we'll see what they've got back under the hood there. Where do you want to go number 3?
Number 3, I'm going to go Mo Donegal. Got beat him in the Wood. Was able to get the job done in the Belmont. He looked great in the Belmont. Got a pretty good trip, but looked very, very good in it. Improved every single race. And specifically this year, if we're looking for horses, we're looking for 2 turns, we're looking for 1.25 miles. That's more up Mo Donegal's alley than the earlier prep races. We talked about him in Florida where it just was too short for him. Even the Preakness would have probably been a little too short for him. That's why we skipped and we go to the Belmont. That 1.5 miles hit Mo Donegal right between the eyes. 1.25 miles is still a pretty good distance for him, especially when there aren't 20 horse fields and he has to go 14 wide.
That also helps a little bit there. Surprised you have him number 3. I know Aaron Halterman has him ranked number 1, so that means your top 2 are going to be a little bit of a surprise as well. Who's number 2nd? Number 2?
Number 2, back in the Chad Brown bar. We're going Jack Christopher. He's just been wildly impressive in 2 starts. This horse should have no issue stretching out, and if that happens, all of a sudden he has to be in this conversation for being number 1. He's done nothing wrong in those 2 starts. Looked absolutely dominant. He's got the speed, but he's been able to rate, and that has been absolutely huge for Jack Christopher. The ability to sit off a horse and go makes him even more dangerous with that tactical speed. So I'm going to sit Jack Christopher there at number 2. The fun part is all 4 or 5 of these horses we're going to see at Saratoga running against each other if everything pans out.
In the Travers Stakes, yeah, what an epic race that could end up being. It could be that the Travers turns into all of the good horses from the Kentucky Derby that we want to see keep racing, and the rest of them that made the 20-horse field, stay home, that's okay. Number 1, I know where you're going. I'm excited. Tell me about it.
Respect to your boy, man. I mean, I'm gonna put Epicenter at number 1, and yes, he's lost to some of these horses, but Epicenter, if you go back, he ran too good to lose in the Derby. He ran absolutely too good to lose there. He got one of the worst rides I've ever seen in my life in the Preakness, and it's the reason why I think that he lost the Preakness, or at least it wasn't very, very, very close. He was still making up ground after that horrific ride from Rosario. He went through the gauntlet early in his 3-year-old season. When you go through that and you don't have as much time between races, it's a little harder to see that consistent improvement. He still took small steps forward every time. Now he gets a break. Now we're going to see what kind of improvement we can actually see later in the year. And he doesn't run a bad race. There's no race that he ran all year where you're like, well, that was shitty. No, every single time you can point to something where he, like the Derby ran too good to lose. The Preakness, it was the trip. He didn't see the horse coming at fairgrounds. But he is ultra talented, getting better, and I'm interested to see what he can do off the break. The caveat here, if Jack Christopher can handle 2 turns, which is still an if, and some people are assuming it's not. If he can handle 2 turns, He's really good.
Boy, and we get the Haskell Stakes as kind of a primer and a preview for the Traverse. It's like the buy-in for a great pay-per-view. You just can't wait to see it. Let us know. What do you think? Tell us in the chat in the comments. Who do you have as your top 5 there?